at 6:30. Let's open the October 10th, 2023 meeting of the Town of Rutland Planning Board. Up is,
Okay,
let's see. This is the emergency meeting, August 23rd minutes.
We were gonna
didn't
approve
Peter
those.
say that, you know,
I said you could approve them, so I kept them. Might as well.
Peter said you could do it.
Oh, okay. So, do I have a motion?
Motion to
Wasn't there.
approve. Motion to approve, emergency meetings from October 3rd, 2023.
Do I have a second?
You'll have to be the second.
You'll have to be
Norm.
the second.
Second. Okay, I will second the motion. Any discussion? We have to vote on this, just two of them.
It's two, so,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. And two abstentions?
Yes, abstain.
Okay. Onward to minutes of September 26th.
Move to approve the minutes of September 26th.
Second.
Didn't have any time. Didn't have anything.
Yeah, because the only thing I had was the future itams, and we got those in, so we're good. As-bills were there.
Anything further?
Richard recommended that the board focus on the vision and blah, 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 and that needed correction and updated. I just felt, talking about the master plan. I'll leave it as it is, but I said it wrong, it should, there are things that needed correction and updated in the master plan.
Okay.
But anyways, I'll leave it alone.
The dissecting of the entire document sort of covers that.
Well, I've done a few more pages.
Thank you. That way we can.
Okay, anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's good. Aye.
Okay. Next, item is bond estimate for Lindsey Lane, Brice Estates, which
You asked me to stop up on that.
I believe.
Good, George, how about yourself? You still got the DeVille, I got some tires for you to put on that baby.
Damn, I love that car.
Yeah, it's a North Star that kills you, though.
Yeah, I still.
I miss my Seville, but
We have a bond estimate from Quinn Engineering.
I went through it, Norm, I didn't see anything that jumped out. And
I mean, basically water and sewer is all in,
yeah,
base coat, pavement is down,
It's down.
drainage is in.
and this is phase 5, correct, if I remember right? Because that's phase 5 was the
I thought it
cul-de-sac.
was, no, it was no, earlier than that.
It's a part of phase 1.
Yeah.
Phase 1, section C.
Okay. All right. I didn't see that.
And let's do it this way. You know,
Stormwater management's all been approved, so I saw that was taken out and zeroed.
you know, I have no real idea on what the costs are. $300 for each granite bound, okay?
Granite bound.
Yeah, that's it's actually, I think, cheap, but that's,
But that's not property bounds.
No,
Those are at the corner, in the street, wherever the
Streets,
right of way
yeah,
turns
correct.
from straight line to turn curves.
I have no problem with that.
want a motion to accept the bond estimate?
I guess you said, you mentioned nothing stood out to you. What would be, since I'm new to this stuff, what would be something that would stand out? Just values or?
If the stormwater, it's right now it's zeroed out.
Yeah.
If the stormwater wasn't finished, I would expect some monies there,
Okay,
but it's all in.
yeah,
And I don't remember any complaints about any water overruns or anything like that on
There's no houses.
Lindsey Lane.
No houses there anyway.
There was no washout or anything like that from Concon that I remember seeing any reports on, so.
Take a look at the material, and it's sandy material, gravelly, so you're gonna find it drains well.
Yeah.
And the other good thing here that you don't usually see in engineers' construction estimate is 15% for construction admin. Usually they just do the actual cost, hard cost, and that's, so you got basically 25% there to cover soft costs.
Yeah.
and, this is an active document, like it's had numbers in the stormwater at some point, or
Yeah.
it just kinda gets,
No, because this is the first bond estimate that he is asking for.
yeah,
Okay.
So,
You know, he put in all of this stuff without a bond in place.
okay,
so what happens is, what happens is when a subdivision gets approved,
yep,
the subdivision control law requires an applicant to secure the construction of the ways and the installation of municipal services. Normally, it's done at first with a covenant that we won't sell a lot and we won't build on a lot until the infrastructure is built.
yep,
Because they don't want people owning lots on, with no access. So they
Yeah.
wanna make sure that there's sufficient infrastructure to access
get
those lots.
into the area, yeah.
When the infrastructure is sufficiently built, they can substitute their security and they release the covenant and they put on a bond.
Okay,
And the bond can be either a bond from an insurance company, it can be cash, or it can be a tri-party agreement with a bank that says, we're holding this money
Yep.
that will cover the final work that needs to be done on this segment of road. So we're swapping out the covenant for this tri-party agreement.
Okay.
And that's what, and so you'll notice that they identify up here what section this covers. This doesn't cover the entire subdivision, it only covers a segment of it and says, we are now satisfied that if you're holding this amount of money, there's gonna be sufficient funds to finish that road.
okay,
And then once that gets done, we can then start building. Am I boring you? I'm sorry.
No.
And not only that,
That's good.
it-
What I was
That was
gonna
good,
add was,
George.
thank you.
some engineers, what they would do is they'll take the plans, they'll do a cost assessment for the entire development,
Yeah,
and then they'll go out in the field, verify, storm drains off.
Yep.
And they'll deduct. So they'll start from everything
yeah,
and work down to the current status.
okay,
And you notice that this has unit cost for each of the storm items. So their program is set up to do exactly that. But they've determined, hey, we don't need any storm drain, we don't need water, so they didn't put that into the numbers here.
Well, the storm drains are all in,
Yeah.
Right,
already
Right.
installed.
but that's what the engineer said.
So they had a field on their spreadsheet to, if they weren't in, they had a field to
Right.
put it in. It's in, it enters as a zero and then it comes through. So Blair could come in on another segment of road, it's not built at all. And it says, I wanna get a bond release, I wanna get a covenant release. At which point, all of these numbers are gonna be.
This bond would be a lot higher than what it is.
And the unit costs are typically updated on
Yeah.
at least the annual basis, if not,
okay,
And just to let you know, there was one subdivision in town here where the owner of the property hightailed it out and left road work to be done, and we had to go in onto the bond to get the money to finish the road, so it would be
okay, wow.
accepted by the town. So
Only one
that's
time
it.
that I know of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the only time, and thank
And
goodness.
the bank
it was there.
stood up, the bank
Yes.
stood up and grabbed it.
Yes, they did.
Pat McCann,
you definitely aren't boring. I just had a headache that developed about an hour ago.
I'm sorry.
No, but so they typically start with everything and then work down to the current status.
So I did a tri-party agreement with the bank, but it doesn't have, so the old ones I don't know why she didn't do it, so, I identified the lots, but we don't have a release of covenant, so I need a release of covenant for these lots.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Cause you, yeah.
Because
they're
we
being
used to
released in
do,
phases.
yeah, we used to
Yeah.
do tri-party agreement and release of covenant in one document. I think KP's changed that and they say they don't want a tri-party agreement and a release of covenant, but I only have the tri-party agreement.
We can do the tri-party now and the next meeting, release the covenant, cause is 2 weeks gonna be,
Yeah, I don't think it's, I'm hoping it's not gonna be critical. I wanna tell Clea, he told me all you need was a tri-party. He didn't tell me, but he's gonna say, you know better.
You did have provision, any other discussion not reasonably anticipated within 48 hours of the meeting.
yeah, but without that agreement to look at, I'm not gonna just give a,
Release.
yeah.
Yeah, here's the agreement. I got the agreement and
Okay, first of all, I think we have a motion.
Yep.
On the floor
Second?
to approve the bond estimate. Any discussion on that?
I'm Jordan.
George, Keith, nice to meet you.
Okay, I apologize, who made the motion?
Keith did.
Oh, thank you, Keith.
Was
Thought you
it
meant-
me? Might have been you.
I
don't know.
think you did.
I did, okay, sorry. I can't
you're
second
okay.
it.
And I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion?
Sorry.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we can,
So the next meeting, you put on covenant, release of covenant.
yeah,
That's the tri-party with the bond attached, or the bond estimate attached.
so what are we doing with this now? No,
I think we should wait to the next meeting, that's my opinion. I just,
Y'all.
yeah,
I'll let him know.
okay.
I mean,
I only received a document from Kevin, but I didn't get anything as far as a release of, covenant.
no,
Clea mentioned something in the email about needing to get signatures.
Yeah.
that's my
before
opinion, I'll let the
signing.
rest of the board think about it. I mean, if you wanna do it as part of a less than 48, I think we should,
I want to at least look at it.
So I spoke to him yesterday, and he says, oh, no rush. He calls me, I need that tonight.
Of course.
Yeah, the bank doesn't want to give you that.
You know? But we gotta get that to the bank for execution as well, so.
Okay, so that's an agenda item for our next meeting, right?
I think so. Yeah.
You want me to cut the corner and bring that to the bank now, get them to sign, Clea to sign, and bring it back next week, in that next meeting?
Well,
for-
that would
for
make
you,
it, that would
or
probably.
That would
you
make
wanna
it-
review it, so why don't you take one of them, so you guys can review? I'll also scan and send it out to you. I'll get these things executed, and I like to do it, it's a tri-party agreement, so I like to have 3 copies, one for Blair, one for the bank, and one for the town. The original gets recorded, and that's the one that controls.
Do we have a copy of the recorded covenant agreement in the file?
I'm sure it's there.
Yeah.
I haven't looked for it, but I'm sure it's
I
there.
can give you the book and page of it if you
Okay.
want,
Oh, that
but
would be
it's in
great.
here, it's.
That's what we'll need. yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
So George, the next meeting's October 24th.
I'll
If
let
you
it be
wanna
done.
let him know.
Yep, I'll ASAP, I'll make that thing. Okay, I'll let Clea know and we'll tackle that thing and we'll get it inked up in 2 weeks.
All right, and so that was 15 minutes, so that's an hour. Just make sure you're putting down your
You wanna
billables.
travel? Oh, crap.
Okay,
I had to research subdivision control laws so I could talk about it tonight.
all right.
And he's in charge of his attorney, right?
It's double.
I'm just trying to,
Nighttime.
I'm just trying to save George some
I
money.
appreciate that, I need the dough.
Now change hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one here, Nate's Way.
That's right, yes. Request for street acceptance in this way. We do have a, report from Clear Engineering, if I can find it. And
Through the chair, Tamika, you got Chris's letter that everything is good too?
I did, so he responded to me late this afternoon and he just
Yep.
said in an email, he did a site visit today and he feels that all the items on his list of concerns had been resolved.
Yeah, is that number 8 where it says additional items, that's sort of referencing?
I think that's what Kevin was
Okay.
referencing, yeah.
Okay, good, I just want to make sure I's dotted, T's crossed, and then let's just move forward.
I did stop up there this afternoon, and I noticed you had a truck with a skid steer with a street brush.
When they flipped it up. but
Yeah,
The leaves are falling, you can't get rid of all the leaves, they're falling faster than you can get rid of them, so, and the only sand that was on there was an area that was about 12 inches wide, 20 feet long.
I don't think it was that much.
Okay, there was nothing.
I saw.
I could have picked it up
You could have
with a
gotten
teaspoon, but
gotten rid
whatever.
of it in 10 minutes with just regular
Broom
broom.
and a
That's all there was to clean up, but we sent them up and did it and whatever. Yeah, the only a couple other items was as far as the catch basin cleaning, I had called the cleaning guys that the town uses, lined them up 4 weeks ago when they were supposed to have it done. I went down there last week, they didn't do it. I've called them 5 times Thursday and Friday with no response. So I hired Helgeson today to do them October 17th at 8 AM. David's meeting them there to do those 4. And that's the only item that I think is outstanding, is that right there as far as, and the catch basins, the first 2 basically have nothing in them, because that was the beginning of the subdivision. The only thing that could have been in it is the sand that we applied to the road while we plowed. 2 end ones at the cul-de-sac that came down, there's maybe this much sand in them. We'll have them take it out.
I don't have a problem recommending to the select board to put this on the warrant, because if it doesn't get done, we can always.
It's
At
gonna
the
get
town.
done. I mean,
Oh,
Helgeson.
George, I know that. I'm just saying, just from the standpoint of
Yeah, I
if something would
understand
happen. But, because I understand the select board wanted this completed, otherwise they weren't gonna move forward if we weren't ready to say yes, and I think I'm fine with it.
Just
I
a,
am too.
just a little side thing, when I stopped up there this afternoon, Peter Crane was outside. And actually, he said that he didn't know how recently it was, but at some time or other, he thinks the town had actually cleaned those basins
we
once.
cleaned them.
Oh, you did?
We cleaned them once again already before
Yeah.
ourselves.
Oh, okay.
We cleaned them once before when the town was doing them. Actually, the town hasn't done them for a few years. But when the town did them the last time, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We saw the guy doing them in town. And we thought we were gonna get this ready and do it, but there was no real problem for us not doing it, we just didn't do it. And we talked to the guy, he was here. He says, I'll go down and do those 4, he says, it's $800 or something, and David said, do them. So we did them once already, and now we're doing them again.
That's fine.
I'll tell you that the town council noted on title that there had been a couple easements that hadn't been reserved, and we've taken care of that, so we're
Yeah,
taking
Peter
care of
told me
that.
that.
We're taking
Yeah.
care of that now,
Yeah.
so.
I'd like to say that Kevin Quinn did mention that the road was in superior shape.
Yeah.
After 17 years, but well,
Had
maybe.
sunk?
I don't wanna say anything, but we did put 2 feet of gravel in it, and it was compacted and,
See what I mean about
So,
nice
see,
thickness of
yeah, I was gonna
gravel?
say, Dick, so the 24 inches is just about right.
24 inches is too much, but that's what your specs call.
Yeah, I know it.
And I was pissed at that, because 1 foot would have done it fine.
But 17 years
2
later, we
feet,
don't, you have to clean it up, George.
17 years later, and Kevin says that
Right.
the road is still
Round.
crowned perfect. There was one little crack at the beginning we sealed, and one down the middle, and I mean, and I say, well, you know, we look at Nate's Way, if you go down Campbell Street and that, we had definitely the best road in that whole area. Because you bounce all over the place down there.
If we can say Palmagussit will stay in that same shape in 17 years, I'll be impressed.
Right,
Well, yeah, well, that's,
And be
Who's doing it?
thankful
Who's
I'm not
doing that?
coming
The
to the
state
site.
doing that, right?
Yeah, they might do
I
it, the
picture
state
about
might.
68
They
with
won't.
all the alligator cracks that are coming in it, and they just resurfaced it a year ago.
where's that?
Route 68.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's already
Cracking?
Yeah.
cracking already.
68, I haven't known.
Yeah, I know it, but still, cracking.
They're too close to, they don't have enough structural fill under it, as simple as that.
I think that's what's gonna get Palmagussit too. They just basically stripped it off and didn't.
You wanna see a road that's bad, you know where they do the recycling in Sterling?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you see the.
It's a combat
There's so
road.
many, they might as well have just poured it.
You know what, it's unbelievable.
Well, it could have
It's
been,
every 8
it could have
inches.
been what Pearson did on the one you guys are talking about earlier. He paved over 6 inches of snow. You remember that?
Oh, my gosh,
The
yeah.
planning board wants me to pave it. I said,
How about-
not over snow.
How about Walmart 15 years ago when they opened Walmart? they had to open and open and open. There was a few inches of frost.
George,
And they did it over it.
Pearson paved.
Over it, and the whole thing went like this.
So they brought a
And
truck
had to-
in over
but
6
Walmart
inches of
says
snow
we're
and
over
just
it.
And they put
They
it on,
paved it.
remember that?
And the thing was like this.
Nothing wrong with that base.
Oh, yeah, no problem there, what could go wrong, right?
And they made the road too narrow,
Yeah, oh my God.
so, and they had the Cape Cod berms.
Yep.
To widen the road, they just took a loader and stuffed.
Push the berms back?
Push the berms back.
Oh, my.
Oh my God. He had a catch basin in the middle of a driveway. He had
wow.
the catch basin
Jesus, no.
was he had the driveway in, but he had to put the structure in, so he puts the catch basin in. And it's not just a drop in, he didn't just do a drop. He put the curb up to it and the pavement came, so you're like,
Hey, honey, where'd the cat go? I don't know. It's in the basin.
exactly. He was a nightmare. And then
Even had-
the emergency access road, which was the craziest thing in the world, 1,000 feet of emergency. He never did it at all.
Right.
You guys had to do that. I don't know. Did that get built or did that not get built?
No.
That was the one that was just waved like we're not going to do that.
And, no, even put a well on, one lot on another lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
As I mentioned at the last minute, I think we had Subdivision, or we had an engineer come in, give us stamped as-built plans. I sent to the fire department's water department and electric light, and he showed the water lines where it was shown on the original plans.
Yep.
The reality is, when they did construction, they had to be shifted to the other side of the road. The surveyor did not.
Pick it up. The as-built is.
And how you can do that when you got a fire hydrant over here.
You got this shut up the gatehouse right there.
So need to say, we said, no, go out there and survey and,
Tell us where they are.
yeah.
I guess I'll make a motion to recommend
Favorable recommendation,
to the select board to
except
accept in the fall town meeting, Nate's Way off of Campbell Street.
Second that?
Is there any discussion?
How many years did you say?
17 years.
17 years.
17 years David plowed that, and there was nothing wrong with the road either. We could have just done it, but David says he'd like to donate something to the town, so he plowed one road.
That's David.
So he did those 17 years, well, that was
He named the
06
road
we started
after his
that.
kid, so it better be good.
Yeah, right. Anyway, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, guys, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
gotta see Peter. Is Peter in there? Where's Peter?
The other side of that
On the
door.
side of that door?
Well, nice seeing all you guys again.
Yes.
You too.
Take care, guys. Stay healthy.
I haven't seen you guys in a long time. I miss you guys.
Please.
Well, I'm gonna be 82, Dick.
I'm
Start
over
building
80
some
now.
more, right?
So-
I'm gonna be
82.
82.
I don't know, we haven't
Well,
gonna
keep
stop
it up.
this
You're looking
economy.
great.
Don't even talk about
I
it.
know I'm fearful in another year or so how things will
Well,
go.
that's
I saw Clea at Noble Hill up for sale. I'm like, uh-oh,
He doesn't power with that stuff.
6 million. I'm going like, oh.
Guess how many people knock on the door?
Yeah.
If I drop tomorrow, that's fine, but I'll,
Yeah,
you know.
Guys, we'll see you. Thank you. Thank you
right.
very
I
much.
hope you're feeling good, bud.
I am.
Take care.
We'll see.
Bye, everybody.
George,
Okay.
Hi, George.
we just got signs, right?
Okay, special permit decisions. For, let's see, 101 Glenwood Place. Wait a minute. This is,
One was for a state lot.
Yeah.
101 Glenwood Place extension was for a new special permit for a state lot.
Yep.
The other three are extensions of special permits.
Yep.
hold on. Something or other. I'm not seeing something here.
It should be 4 total.
Demon Pond Road.
Okay,
There's two for Demon Pond Road.
Yeah.
I see the 198, 192.
That's lot 3.
That's demo
This,
one.
this is the one for, Craig Bacon. This one is 101 Glenwood Place Extension.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and then that one's, the other one's lot 4.
I'm just trying to kind of take these things in order. The 101 Glenwood Road.
That's the new estate lot.
Yes.
That's the new estate lot for Craig Bacon. Do I have a motion?
Motion to
Sign
sign 101 Glenwood Place Extension, special permit for
Craig Bacon.
for Craig Bacon for
State lot.
estate lot, sorry.
Second?
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And that made me very happy, that big estate lot
It's huge. It takes
with it saying cannot be further developed,
Or subdivided.
subdivided.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
the one
those are
I
all the
like.
originals.
Yes,
Subdivided.
Yep, so you can't make 3 other lots out of that.
which is awesome.
What's the, I don't mean to talk too much, it says like,
No.
can't do 3 continuous estate lots with frontage, I forget where that's, what is that?
Can't have more than 3 of them right
Three.
side by side.
Yeah.
Okay, as one owner or?
No,
just in-
multiple owners, it's just the 3 lots itself cannot happen.
Yeah,
No more than 3.
Basically, they want no more than 150 feet of frontage divided into 3 lots.
that's what it is, alright.
It's actually quite generous, though. I know a lot of bylaws have estate lots and flag lots that require no more than, can have anyone adjacent to it.
If you messed it up, grab one from your packet. Grab the signature page from your packet, because you have the same copy.
I printed mine out. Do I have
You
it?
guys have your printed packet?
Anybody got
Yeah.
let me borrow a,
If you wanna look at it.
I like to sign for Dick on stuff. I don't use his name.
I mean, just the last page, right?
Yeah, it's just the last page for 101. That's what happens.
If you want everyone's signature, you just have you do it.
No. I did that. All right.
No, you put it in the wrong spot, I think, yeah.
I will sign in the correct spot and give it back to Norm. Okay, you're at the top.
Let me see, which line is it?
Yeah.
You can, my middle name and just an R. You don't have to write out Richard, because when I went to the,
Alright.
when you have to write it and send it to the court, it's
Alright.
Charles R. Williams.
Bottom one.
Because a long time ago, Blair, we had, I don't know how many
I steal a
sheets we
pen
had to
from you?
sign, like 38 of them,
Black
something
one.
like that.
There you go.
After
A
that.
lot, along, yeah.
Yeah,
I
after
think we
that,
just-
it'd be just an R, not,
I think we just kind of continued it from what Dave had been using,
Yeah.
not realizing that.
Oh, put this with it too. I screwed up.
10.
Thanks. Yep.
Okay,
Those go right over.
before we go any further, let's get that back to Tamika so everything is.
Yeah, we'll keep it organized.
Okay. We don't get things mixed up.
That's one.
I tend to do that. Okay, next is extension of the special permit for estate lot 192 Glenwood Road. And let's see. Oops, wait a minute.
That was just extending it, correct?
Yes.
192? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you need a date as to how long we extended it for?
You can extend for more than 2 years.
Yeah, but it's not listed in here. How long we actually extended it. I don't think. At first look at it, says no. You could extend it for less than 2 years, right?
Let's mess with Mark and say 24 hours.
Yeah.
No. Of course, there's always the legal terminology that if you don't put a date in, it's the max.
Yeah.
Petition is granted an extension until October 18th, 2025.
Oh, okay.
That's a condition. Yeah. I'll have to put that in there.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, do I have a motion to grant the extension?
So moved.
Move to sign the extension.
To sign.
Sign the extension.
Sign the extension, okay.
Was this, a letter, all three of them required a letter, or only
Yeah.
the other two? Okay,
Yeah.
as long as you got
he
it, I
did-
guess.
Yep, he provided one for each of the lots.
Any,
Cause, basically.
Yep, good.
any extension special permit has to be based upon good cause.
Yep.
So I always recommend have something in writing from the applicant saying what the good cause is.
And that can go into the file then with this, so
Yep, I put them in there.
It's reflected in minutes and files, so there's documentation on it.
So do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Third,
The
right?
third line down.
Thanks.
Yep.
There.
Okay. And now we have,
Zero, Dunman Pond.
Zero Devon Pond, lot 3. Extension, once again, on state lot.
So move to sign 0 Demon Pond, Lot 3, special permit extension.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 I just thought about that. We all have to say aye or it can't happen. Because this is super majority for special permit.
You know, I don't know about an extension.
Extension, I think, can be a simple majority.
Oh, it can? Okay.
It really doesn't say about that, but I don't see why it can't, so that's more administrative, not altering conditions or anything, just.
But now, since now special permits are now good for 3 years, can you extend it for 3 years?
The state statute says zoning bylaws must provide that they lapse for a period, if work's not completed or commenced within a period not to exceed 3 years. Your bylaw says 2 years. So in order to take advantage of the 3-year provision of state law, you'd have to end the zoning bylaw to allow that. It's like it doesn't, state law doesn't mention how long you can extend
Right.
a special permit for. General practice been, it can be extended for the same period as there is a special permit. I'm interim town planner in West Springfield, and their zoning ordinance restricts extensions to 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it restrict to how many times you can do that?
Nasty guys.
The implication of state law, and that is you don't do it one time.
Oh. Holy jamales.
The rationale being is after one extension, there may have been changes that would warrant.
That was always my argument. That's why I've always argued that I don't like subdivisions that are 10 and 12 years old, because something's changed in
But
10 or 12 years.
there's nothing to do about those other than the fact that.
Well, if they have special permits, if you don't redo a special permit, the subdivision's null and
But
void.
substantial use is made if they have, I think, if they have gone through the subdivision review process, started the infrastructure,
Yeah,
then I think.
that's a moot point, I get
it's
it,
a moot
yeah.
Point.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if nothing's been done, it's been
Yeah.
on the books.
Right, and statute allows the planning board on its own motion to rescind a subdivision.
Yeah, that's always been a hot topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never recommended they do that,
Yeah,
because I think that gets in a lot of legal issues and damage issues.
yeah, I agree.
Is the 6 months in West Springfield just to kind of get them to build right away, or?
I don't know why they put that in, I think they wanna hold real tight.
Well,
What do we got left?
we have left lot 4 on Heavenly Farm Road.
And this one's written a little bit differently. Because apparently the original decision didn't get recorded in the registry.
Oh,
And now you can't record the decision because it's 2 years old. You can't go back and get the same people that signed it back then on the board because they're not on the. So what I've done on this is refer to the original decision as attachment 1 or attachment A, so that they can then attach it to the extension and record it as one package.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Because you want the original decision in the registry somehow.
Yeah.
Because on anybody to look at it to be on notice what the conditions are.
so once again, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to
Sign.
sign, extension, special permit for lot 4.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
By the way, I note that apparently the 6-month limitations work in West Springfield because the clerk sent me an email saying we got our first ever special permit extension request.
First one?
They said we've never had a request for extension before.
That's fine. Thank you.
Are we, Norm? Oh, wait, I was gonna say number 6. Are we shooting to get these on by Friday?
Oh, so I have a placeholder on there
Oh,
for these.
okay.
So you guys had already reviewed these
Yep.
and with town council's edits, we just wanted to make sure that you were comfortable with them.
Yep.
And then, we're gonna hold the public hearing for them at the next meeting, but they will still be on the warrant.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, here's this.
Thank you.
So,
I gotta look over your shoulder, cause I printed the packet out and I didn't get up to get mine.
okay, the only one that I have here is the associate plan. Which, these are the comments from
Town
town
council.
council, which I'm pretty sure for the most part,
Is it just wording changes?
well, this one, she says, it's usually limited to a resident, not a registered voter for the person.
Yeah, that sounds
I like that,
logical.
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, we decided to leave it a registered voter. I'm pretty sure.
I believe for a board and committee, you have to be a registered voter, cause I remember that coming up as an issue with the Conservation Commission a couple years ago.
Commonly, an associate member
Oh,
the
here.
planning board.
We knew that would be like the
Look at
da-da-da.
that, here he comes, here he
Here
comes.
comes the call.
Comment with the associate
Yeah.
member planning board, it's treated something different because it's not a full member.
It is, however, there is a bylaw in town that members of appointed committees shall be registered voters. That's a general bylaw in the town. Making it that this zoning bylaw this way brings it in conformance with our general bylaw.
And I don't know, I kind of like the idea, it's just a little bit, to me, a little bit more insurance that it's gonna be someone who's interested in the town.
I'm fine with that. I am, I think everybody should be registered, but that's my opinion, so.
True.
I would think most people who are on a board are registered, but maybe, obviously you have a bylaw to just ensure that, I guess.
I'm fine with leaving it the way it is. We don't get in trouble with KP by disregarding their,
No, because she didn't make a suggestion, she made a comment.
okay.
They're advisory only.
All right, don't get me, please, do not get me wound up about that word.
God, I don't even.
What's the next one with the election?
The second one was that we originally had wording said that the term of the associate planning board member would end on the date of the municipal election. Town council pointed out that means that you have terms that aren't 3 years long necessarily, true. And so the committee, between a choice of make things more complicated, had lots of words about when things begin and when things end, or it's just a straight 3-year appointment. It's up to the select board and planning board to jointly figure out the timing of.
So eliminate that last section after 3 years?
Yes.
I'm fine with
That'd be
that.
my recommendation.
Yeah.
I think one of the problems you have ending on the day of the municipal election is that means the associate member term ends. You have new planning board members, new select board members, they then have to solicit new nominees and then reappoint somebody, so you may have a pending special permit application that you have no associate member that could qualify.
But frankly, that's not the way it would work in practice. It would be an appointment like so many other appointments of the select board that I would imagine the appointment work would happen well in advance so that it would be appointed beginning on the date of the election for 3
Yeah.
years. But that's for carryover
Yeah.
appointments, and they're not all gonna be carryovers, let's be honest.
And it also depends on how radical of a change you have in board compositions.
Yeah. I'm looking at two people.
Yeah, they're pretty radical, aren't they?
No.
Yes, yes, yes.
Trump has said that you should be active in the community until 101, that's year of life.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, my.
No, I'm kidding. I'm fine with taking that out and just leaving it at 3 years. Do we need to vote on these or just agree, straw vote?
I would suggest voting
At the end.
after
We're
we're
going
done
through the comments?
explaining all the changes to say changes as proposed.
You don't have anybody on, do we?
No.
I guess as a comment, say someone has to, they're appointed for 3, they leave at year 1 to go take on different ventures. That means the next person's only a 2-year
Nope.
until.
Nope,
or
no,
It means
just-
that the next appointment will be for a 3-year
Okay.
appointment.
Yeah.
Cool, okay.
The planning board person would be that way. If say I left and there was 2 years on it,
Yeah,
they would be there for the 2 years to the next election. But this is different.
yep.
Typically, if what term do you have, 5 years here?
5 years, yeah.
Typically, a planning board member leaves after 3 years. Someone is appointed to fill the position until the next election.
And then it becomes a
And
one-year
Then
appointment.
becomes a election for the balance of the term.
Yes. That's the way it works.
Interesting.
Oh, it didn't at one time.
Yeah, because we went to 3-year terms and we ended up having 3 planning board member positions open on the same election because somebody didn't
Right.
fill, and we had 2 terms come up, so.
Oops. Well, let's keep moving on.
Yep, and all the rest of this, again, her comment is that none of these provisions are necessary to include in the zoning bylaw. They can be included in planning board procedures, procedural rules and regulations, of which we have none.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would rather keep it in the bylaw than come up with procedures and policies.
Yeah.
I like to have one concise way of doing things.
Well, and that's in fact, I think, one of the weaknesses in town council's argument, in that rules and regulations can be changed, not quite on a whim, but pretty close to on a whim. And bylaw provisions, it's a much stronger hurdle to change.
And let me throw out one potential. This is geared towards what's in 48, Section 9, that they only vote for special permits. What if state law changes? So that person can now vote on subdivisions or site plans.
We have to go back and
You
modify
then have
this.
to go back and amend your bylaw until that can take effect. So I would suggest that to the extent that it can be done in rules and regulations, and all planning boards should have general rules and regulations, and if you don't, then that I would suggest John, when he takes over, that's one of the first things he can do is work with, there's that number sets out there, you can use a model. That way you can then address it as part of that. So to the extent that you don't have to have a bylaw, I wouldn't. Because what you're trying to do is get the position created for the purpose of having somebody help you on special permits as allowed by law. If the law broadens that allowance, which some has been hoping for years it would, then you'd be all set.
Cause you've seen boards with appointed alternate members and stuff and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And none of us have advocated for years that the associate member should be able to vote on more than just special permits where there's an absence on the board.
Yep.
I'm more apt, I like what David used to do. If we need to change something, we'll update the bylaw to change it. We get 2 meetings a year. I mean, I'm more of a kitchen sink guy right now. That's my opinion. I like what's there. I agree with what Richard's saying. I just, because we don't have it, I don't think we should dip the toe in right now until we get something in place. And then we can go back and amend this, because David's going back, he cleaned up a lot of stuff. John can do the same thing for us. He can go back and clean up bylaws that need to be updated. That's my opinion.
But for the younger ones, this older one, leave it alone.
First off, age is in your mind.
That's right.
You're 37.
Now in 20 days, I'd be 68, so.
And if I do the
Just
math,
a youngster.
that's 34. So you're a little bit younger than Dick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd keep it in there.
Yeah, I would too. That's
I
fine.
think if nothing else, it gives an explanation to whoever is going to be that alternate member of, oh, here's what you can do.
Yeah.
A little bit of guidance for the person that gets the job.
I mean, it's still a rules and regulation, whether it's in the bylaw or if it's in another document.
And we could definitely do like a policy, or what the select board calls policy, but policies and regulations for the planning board. But since we don't have them, I just don't think.
Just start with this one.
Yeah, to leave this thing too open. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you, you've got several bits and pieces that can be put together.
Yeah.
Policies and procedures.
I think there's a lot that John can do for, and if he gets, like we put out, an admin help, that's gonna even be more help to get things up to speed for us, so.
If I may, I would suggest that it seems to me that there's quite a bit in the zoning bylaw that get moved into regs and out of the body of the bylaw itself to make it much easier to read, much easier to follow, much easier to obey.
Yeah.
One thing is in your zoning bylaw, wherever you have specified what must be in a application, that should be in rules and
Oh,
regs.
that should be regs. Oh, my gosh.
Because for instance, if you've got a bylaw, they'd have to submit 8 copies of an application. Well, that's probably written and not, you only have paper copies. Today, you've got digital. And now you wanna make it 2 copies and 1 PDF. Or you go back and amend your zoning bylaw to do that. If it's in rules and regulations, you update that as technology allows you to update.
We have some
That's
work,
just an example.
we have some work for our new
Oh,
planner.
boy, do we.
Yeah. Think we're gonna need a special, business meeting to come up with an outline.
Well,
Oh, I'm sure John can solicit copies from member communities and you'll come up pretty standard outline.
All right.
So, I
think the only thing we're talking about deleting is that one right there.
yeah,
And that has been deleted from the most recent copy.
Okay. Need a motion to accept the, associate planning board member bylaw, with the deletion of,
The term limitation.
term of limitation per the municipal election.
okay. Okay, your motion was
To accept, and move to the select board, as a warrant article, the associate planning board member bylaw, with the only change being a deletion of section 64,
B,
section 64B, removal of the, pending the date of the municipal election.
okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Okay, now I'm assuming our recommendation for this will come after our public hearing on it.
This is just a recommendation that be placed on the warrant
Correct.
and your recommendation town meeting will be based on public hearing.
Yep, yep. Okay, anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And to me, the really good news is town council had no comments at all on kennels.
Yeah.
I make a motion to recommend to the select board to put on,
You guys already did. And then we had changes. Oh no, maybe you made a motion to send it to town council.
Yeah.
I apologize, I'm
no,
sorry.
that's okay, to approve
Modification.
any, or no, the
Modifications to the zoning
dog-
bylaw with respect to kennels as presented by the ad hoc bylaw committee.
So moved.
Second that.
Any discussion? In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I didn't see anything from any of our little buddies at the,
Brice Lemon, I can't say that I've been over to look, but I don't think he's doing anything yet on that. Brintnal Estates, oh yeah, the houses are going up. They are still working on that temporary egress. As a matter of fact, I went by there today, and they've done some excavating right at the entrance off of Brintnal. They've definitely taken away a substantial pile on the upper side of that egress. I don't know, but I'm kind of assuming it looks like maybe they are getting ready to rebuild the stone wall. The sewer-
that'll seal it off.
The sewer and water is in.
And Clee said it's teed right there, so all they gotta do is tap into it for Hilltop Estates.
That's good.
So, like I say, I saw the truck there, and there was a guy that he had just gotten there, and he was emptying out what looked like a cement tub or a mortar tub.
I was gonna give Clee a hard time. You were selling us on Noble Hill that pumping station is too big. What about the one at Bear Hill?
Yeah. So, anyway, I think he's making his progress
Yeah.
on that whole thing. And, actually, I did not go through Brintnal Estates, but he's got 6, 7 houses in progress.
Yeah.
Bear Hill is, I think everything's up. They're just in various states of finishing.
Bear Hill 2, yeah, I don't think there are any lots left.
There might be one
Well-
at that corner when you go out on the second.
Yeah, there might be.
It's almost like a pie
narrow.
section, yeah, it's a narrow
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think that's the only one left.
just about.
Everything else has got foundations and
I
or,
remember seeing that classified as a house lot or not,
What,
that narrow one.
like I say, I don't know exactly, but,
Well, let's just go over in the file and pull it out and take a look.
yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute. And
future agenda.
Future agenda things, Norm, you're gonna start working on our new office.
oh yeah,
Are you going through the library trustees, and are you gonna put it on the other side of the other auditorium over here?
okay.
Oh, that's what I was gonna
No,
report
I
on.
had I was talking with another individual from town here, and he was saying desperately need more room. And I says, well, here is a spot, and I opened up the door and I walked him in there, and says, if you put stuff in order in here and, accumulate it, here's a door, and, make a new planning board office, and,
What, in the back there?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a heating system, you can duct off that baby any which
That's
way you
right.
want.
Yeah.
So where they're storing everything, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a big area.
Yeah,
I mean, like I keep saying, we have 2 containers that was paid for by the CARES Act. They're sitting right over there.
Oh, yeah,
Use
yeah,
those
yeah.
as storage facilities. And if you don't want to, spend the money, some of the not CARES, but what's the next one? The ARPA fund? And HVAC them if you want to. I don't care. But then you'll have storage facilities and then put all the recreation, all that stuff back there in it.
They're full,
Of what?
the trailers.
Of what?
They have a bunch of Board of Health stuff that they moved out when they moved Karina into the basement. They have a bunch of furniture that we have nowhere else to put because the 3rd floor town hall is full.
What are we gonna use the furniture for? There's no rooms. Throw it out. Sell it.
Number 1, that's why the room.
yeah.
And then
Well,
space,
I
yeah.
thought they were empty. That's what, last time I talked to Seth.
I know they're not empty, unfortunately.
I don't picture us getting an office, to be perfectly honest with you, of our own.
I think that would be tough to have them separated from everybody else at town hall,
Well,
because you kind of work
Yeah.
together
Yeah,
a
the
lot.
joint.
It would make for a very difficult work structure.
yeah,
I think it's time for, look for another trailer truck or something like that for more storage.
Or look at trying to digitize records so you can free up
some
storage space. Cause that's one of the problems you have is a lot of things are kept in paper format.
Oh, yeah.
And very frankly, I always found that if I could get stuff on computer where I could call it up anytime I need, it's a lot better for my
Oh, yeah.
productivity. Plus, after 20, 30, 40 years, paper doesn't really last that well.
No, it doesn't.
Wait a minute, upstairs in the auditorium of the community hall, there's stuff up there for crying out loud, I think it was 1927? And it's looking perfect.
You can smell it, it smells like history.
It smells like it's been there that long.
And today, as Austin was showing the young lady, I don't know who she was.
Allison. She's our new HR coordinator, Allison.
Is that-
So you and I are gonna be in her office a lot, is what I'm trying to say.
They were getting ready to walk upstairs into the auditorium. I said, watch out for the ghost.
They're
And
friendly though.
Really?
papers and stuff last longer if they're not used.
Yeah.
If you don't
Where
touch
if
it.
you're having to go through the plans
Oh, yeah.
a couple times a year, within 10, 15 years, they're starting to get raggedy
Oh,
and
yeah.
you get tears in them.
You
And
can come off.
digitizing them frees up space and makes it better use
I
it.
tried to do that with
And
my
then,
last.
then you can do the storage off-site.
If you wanna keep the paper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steel Mountain does a lot of storage over by Boston. Boxes. You'll never find it or get it back, but it's a good place to store it.
Okay. Well,
I have two things also when you get done talking.
yeah,
First thing is that, at our, DCR meeting, Ware River Watershed Advisory Committee, I had asked Dan, and John Scanlon was there also. I says, what is your opinion about having battery for solar fields in the watershed, you know, close to Ware River?
I know that answer before you even say it.
And he says, what? What? And he turned to John and he says, what's this? I said, we're trying to do a bylaw and I want your opinion, how you would like to have it, or would you not? I says, I'd like to have a little conversation. He says, Dick, give me a little time to look at this, because, it threw him for a loop. And I told him that, to the best of my knowledge, I think there were two solar fields, one good one there on Schultz Lane, or what do they call it, road.
Oh, is that the one back behind?
They're all in Sportsman's Club.
Yeah. That
Yes.
took up my primary deer hunting area.
Yes, and Gary Lemontine's property also is a watershed, and it goes to the Ware River very quickly, so, he's gonna look into it, and,
And
I feel I'd like, before we get started in doing something,
yeah.
I wanna know more about what their feelings are. Because, they did have problems in the
It's
past, so,
serious stuff.
yeah.
I'll just note on that, there's some Supreme Judicial Court case where they addressed the issue of energy storage systems. And as I understand it, standalone systems you're not mandated by state law to allow them. But there's been court decisions indicating that if you got solar field, a storage system for that solar field has to be treated as an acceptable accessory use to the solar field.
there's a state court case, and I don't know if it was a circuit or where it was, in May in Massachusetts, that there were towns that were coming with bylaws to block it.
Yeah.
And that got shot down by that court.
Yeah, but the state Supreme Court has said if you've got a solar field, it has to be treated as accessory to the solar field, and that's allowed. But standalone hasn't been mandated yet, and at the present time, I was at the Massachusetts Association of Plan Directors virtual land use update last week, and they said present time there's no mandate that you allow energy storage systems that are standalone.
Did they talk, Richard,
That may
about
be
ones that
changed.
are tied with substations,
Didn't talk about substations, just talked about
standalones?
as solar systems, solar fields.
All right. That's the one thing that the big push by Grid and Eversource is adding those to substations to hit the peaker times, so.
Yeah.
The Medway one is attached to Eversource. It's huge.
I've
It's-
been asking about that.
It's
Nikki Bruno
massive.
hasn't gotten back to me, and I sent her an email to ask her.
Yeah,
She's in charge of our alternate
sources or.
sources, yeah, cause
Resources.
they're doing a geothermal system in Framingham as a test facility.
So it may be that when you look at the energy storage systems, hey, if it's accessory to a solar field, okay, because base have to do that anyway. And look at allowed as part of a residential system.
Sounds like two different bylaws.
You could do it as two different, or you could do it as one, just very, very scaled down from what was presented.
Yeah, cause it seems to me like you could take the solar bylaw and just add to it
accessory is,
accessory, and then the standalone will be a standalone bylaw.
yeah.
My thoughts, again, we're a little bit ways from doing that, but that might be a way to think, but
Yeah.
again, we'll see.
Yeah.
Because I would agree that with residential units, you're gonna have the battery systems, cause as more people buy, electric vehicles, they're gonna need that capacity at their home.
Yeah, we're all gonna find out that high line going over your house has not been designed for all the electricity that's gonna be required. And especially out here with those 1945 triplex designs.
Yeah.
They were not designed to carry the load. But we'll learn the hard way.
True.
All
All right, the other day, I was thinking about it. What happened to the growing plant at Sims? I thought August was supposed to be the date where we were supposed to have a walkthrough.
I've been watching and watching.
That's a slow progress.
And
What happened?
well, I don't know, but obviously, they've got all kinds of materials outside,
She had her hand up behind you.
so.
So they're still plugging along. They
Yeah.
just received their provisional license for manufacturing from the CCC. That was maybe 2 weeks ago. So they are still moving forward as planned, just not able to open at the anticipated time they thought. I do not have a new date yet.
And they just got, I think, to make it, they just got the updated propane or use to,
Oh, the
Correct.
generator thing too.
Yeah.
from the
Yep, they
select-
got the license to store flammables
Yeah, I
on the
remember.
property for the
Pile-
generator.
Yeah, there's piles of building materials out there.
but on the flip side, Dick, look across from them, that building hasn't been finished either.
No, it hasn't.
And that
I
hasn't
beg
been
to differ. It
started.
looks to me, they got the driveway all in now for crying out loud. Looks-
Okay, let me just say, there's nobody going in there to do business.
Oh, nobody doing business at the moment,
I did
right?
talk to Chris Higgins, who is running the retail store, and I can't remember off the top of my head. He did give me a date for opening, so they are still on track. They're still planning on opening. I just can't remember what date he said off the top of my head.
No.
I still say I kinda wish those evergreens were
Arborvitae?
The arborvitae was still in front.
I think
Because
it's,
in my, after months of listening to various people talking now about kids getting in marijuana and starting to fry their brains and everything else, I'm getting worried. I'm getting really worried.
I think you had more accidents, cause people come around that corner that are coming from Holden at 40, 50 miles an hour, and then you got a car pulling out that's 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's a no-win scenario for the car pulling
Push them
out.
up the hill, that's all.
Yeah, right.
Push them around back to the auto repair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dangerous intersection area.
And then the flip side, coming down from Rutland, that's still down and
I've asked, I don't know how many times, Cornerstone Bank, would you please go out and have somebody cut the limbs off of that
That
tree?
tree, yeah.
oh yeah.
Because don't forget, there are
Can't see it.
truck drivers, they're up higher and can't see through.
That car, yeah.
Because I was just pulled in and this trailer truck is slamming on its brake because this car started pulling out. Didn't see him.
Yeah,
Holy crap,
Yeah, that
it
is-
it stopped within feet.
it is in the way, it
Yeah.
is really in the way.
I have also made a complaint to District 3 about that. There is a hedgerow up a little bit further. I said 40 miles an hour, you come around the corner, you can't see what's going on there. You have any X number of seconds before you're there. Well, show me a picture. I says, what? You want me to do your job?
Smart, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What street is
Okay.
that on?
Main Street, just before coming from Rutland Center to the Cornerstone Bank. There's a hedge on the right-hand side. It's just a slight bend to it. And it's in DC, MassDOT's jurisdiction. It's in there right away. So it should be moved back. But that's not our problem, but there again, you don't bitch about it someplace.
What's this future agenda review of ZBA variance application, 82 Central Tree Road? What's that?
So the zoning board of appeals is in receipt of an application for variance. The residents are looking to put in a shed and they do not meet the side setback requirements, so they're seeking a 7-foot variance. So as part of the requirement in the bylaw, it needs to come to the planning board for your comment. So their meeting is October 25th. So we'll get your feedback the
82,
night before, 82 Central Tree Road.
left or right?
On the right-hand side, heading towards Holden.
Yeah, after Blair's Barn?
Yeah, it's almost as you're getting towards the Holden line. It's right near
Oh,
where
way down there.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
right near where like Jim built those new houses on the
Yeah.
left.
On the left, yeah.
So this one's on the right and it's a
Okay.
white house.
Yeah.
And they're gonna put a shed to the right of the house where the driveway is.
Yeah.
I think there used to be a fellow that lived there that had a horse. So
Maybe.
it should fall into the
Okay.
agriculture. No.
All right.
Well,
Other than that, I would say I'd like to have subcommittee meeting. And I'm sorry, but I don't feel that keep waiting for the new town planner, that's minor details. We should be trying to, get things organized, what the heck we're gonna do, what's gonna be on the list. Let's get Glenn going, how come this isn't on the docket and?
I was waiting for the planner to come to keep him informed.
Well, I
that's
time is.
that's 2 weeks away,
2 weeks, yeah.
so, at this point.
13 days.
Time's a
Who's
ticking.
counting, Richard, right?
Then 12.
Tamika, have you got anybody feeding back to you wanting to join the committee?
No, we
I didn't
didn't
think
hear
so.
anybody,
I really-
no.
Well, I'll send an email out to everybody and Marilyn and our other gentleman. Tom, yeah.
Tim,
Tim.
Excuse me, Tim.
Yeah.
Another Tim.
I've got his email address. And just give him a heads up that we're reconstituting the committee for a couple of bylaws. Has there been any movement out of Glenn on what he was looking to do?
Glenn Coppola?
Yeah, he was gonna look into something, and I don't remember what it was at the last meeting I was at.
Looking at the deed
I
or
think,
something.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the only thing that, he was really going to be doing. 'Cause we did go through, we developed a use list. And, I kinda get the feeling that as much as anything, we would probably at a point of figuring out how he would be able to divide parcels within that area. Because I don't think he's not interested in selling.
No, he wants to lease or
He's
rent
interested in
or.
leasing.
Did we also have to
So-
extend the zoning?
Oh, yeah. I think
That's what I was
It's
kinda
the
hoping.
back.
That's what the need for the deeds
Yeah, and that's
was.
why I was hoping everything was wrapped up now for the special town meeting, and that it would have been in there, so.
No, he was supposed to look into that and get back, and I hadn't heard a word.
Well, we haven't had any meetings.
Yeah.
He was here last meeting, probably
I
should ask him.
Henceforth, why I say, planner or no planner, we should try to keep pushing this stuff. But,
I mean, like you said, that's a couple meetings.
I'll get the
or
email out.
2 meetings worth of stuff for going over the master plan and, is that
Yeah.
what you thought, or could be longer than that, or?
it all depends, you can just say, hey, I've just got Williams has got a sore spot and
No,
ticked off at the town.
You can't ask them to do any more research, is that?
no, they're done.
They're
It's-
done,
It's just done, yeah.
and it's up to us to vote.
Okay.
You know, I'm assuming they would make some revisions.
And
My recommendation would be that the board vote, focus on vision recommendations and implementation matrix as a group, individuals have concerns about particular text or data in there. They meet with the planner makes that list and meets with CMRPC and says, hey, it's been brought to us that this is in error, or this needs to be corrected, this needs to be revised, and work with them on a one-on-one to get that type detail
sorry.
changed.
Yeah,
I'd fire them.
Well,
I'd fire them.
well, if you fire them right now, you're not getting anything out of them.
Yep.
I think
At this
that-
point in time, you want to use whatever leverage you can to get them to make changes.
Yeah, the biggest thing, and I think I'd said this to Norman, I think I even said to Austin after going through that is, there's definitely issues, but since I was on there, most of them I'm comfortable with. The biggest thing that came to mind after this went through is there's no real definition of how to put together an implementation team of that. That's what needs to be added in there that's not in there right now of what constitutes an implementation team, their charge, and it needs to be a section at the end of how to implement it.
That
Because
should-
otherwise it goes on the shelf and it'll never,
The implementation strategy should include some type of overview of
Yeah.
and recognize that a master plan doesn't get implemented like a capital improvement program does.
No, it's
You
very
have $50
different.
million in bonds,
Yeah.
you implement these projects. It tends to get implemented through decision-making on individual projects, through grant applications, through bylaw changes, development. And the actual strategies will change over time as, hey, we tried this and this isn't gonna work because we found out the state law won't let us do this, or the town's not gonna give us $5 million to do this project, so we need to look at another way of how do we achieve this. And so sometimes you have to modify those implementation strategies as you progress.
and I'm fine with that. It's just, my fear is, and again, you guys have been on here longer than I have, the last one in 2000 went on the shelf and that's the last time it was used. I don't want that to happen with this. That's my push, is to get something in there to say, listen, we have a a planning board, a select board, 2 at-larges. There's your team, put them together, meet once a month, once every quarter, I don't care. And see how things are, make recommendations to the select board, the planning board, the whoever else, the open space group of, here's something, have you looked into this? Just come up with highlights and shotgun it out.
Well, should the implementation team, whatever you call it, their role really should be to monitor progress towards implementation of the strategies and report back at least on an annual basis as to what's being done, what's not being done, and why. And very frankly, one of the issues is this is way too long of a document.
You thought so too, yeah.
I'd suggest that this is really nice. 10 years from now, when you do an update, it'd be about 1/3 that thick.
Location, it says south of Route 62. No, it's northwest of Route 62. And rural residential area and DCR watershed property I added in. And why hasn't the town changed this? And that was something about green area, blah, 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 who the heck? And I put down here something, wrong on the acreage in here, for crying out loud. Please add, yeah, already said that. Flip it, who cares?
No, Dick,
Show on map.
Those are all valid comments.
And,
Really needed him, didn't we, Norman? We should have.
light industrial area, spans 54 acres on Route 68, and it consists of 2 town-owned parcels. No, there were actually 5 parcels there, not 2, 5. And part of the rail trail, which is DCR. And also, don't forget MWRA or the aqueduct. It goes right through it, too. So, I mean, it's things all there. How do we sell your product and get it in the open, I don't know, with industrial district, vegetation screening. They're talking about, how to dress up the, the roads or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Vegetation screening, come on, give me a break. Get rid of the trees, because right now,
And you know how you could do that? You could put streetlights in with,
Yeah. well, no, the animals don't need the streetlights.
yeah, they do. They gotta see where they're hunting at night.
I don't know, anyways,
You know, I saw that, or Dick, you can keep going. too.
no, I'm done.
They talk about the schools a little bit, but they don't mention what to do with the schools being full, which is something I keep hearing about. You know, there's no talk about,
That didn't really,
Full?
that really didn't come up in
Yeah, I
these
thought that's-
surveys, if I remember right at all.
yeah, I don't know if that's to me, it feels like a master plan issue, cause it's town related, but yeah, if it's
Yeah,
really
they-
based off the survey, then yeah, it would have been left
Most-
out.
Regional school district,
No, and that's why we should have been
Kinda
out of
hard.
that regional school district.
kinda hard to include that in
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
just a town thing.
See how, I can see an argument for including it in there in terms of how you,
For your elementary and your middle school questions. 'cause-
just recognize that Rutland's part of a regional school system, and there's questions and concerns about the capacity of the schools and how that could impact future residential development if you don't have sufficient capacity.
Well,
Or you,
Oh, yeah.
if you
And we have
don't,
one-room schoolhouses again.
or you don't have the property to build it on.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a need for a long-term capital improvement plan by the regional school system, and the town should advocate for that. I can see some strategies that you would include in master plan.
Gentleman was at the shop the other day from Hubbardston. Next year, 76% of the total budget goes to the Quabbin Regional High School.
76?
76%.
We're only in the 60s.
They are, right now, borderline of bankruptcy. And he says what bothered him is the state turned around and told him that the state has to come up with, town has to come up with a piece of property, to put low-income housing on it. Well, we don't have any. And they said, well, what about this one? Oh, it can't, that's got a CR on it, you're putting houses on it. If that is true, if I get verified that the state is demanding that, I'm screwed in this town. Because the state then will do that for everything.
So they can override a CR?
Well, that's what
way.
I don't think so, I thought it's legislator, but
Yeah.
hey, they could do that to you.
If
It's eminent
CR,
domain. Can
if
you-
CR is done properly, you basically have to go through the legislature, Article 97 process, and that takes about a 2-year process, and then there has to be somebody making compensation for the loss of protected open space. That's a much longer process and more challenging. Can you get the state legislature to approve that and the governor to approve it, and
Wow.
yeah.
That's why I gotta
So-
find out, because
So
if that's the
again,
case, I don't know.
being
what
from the
they can do with
Midwest,
town.
we don't have a lot of CRs, but can they use eminent domain to override CRs in
Oh, yeah.
Massachusetts?
And any state, any domain can.
Dick, I'm
wipe
just
out-
throwing out there.
I know. Let's put it this way, I have had a couple of sleepless nights already on this.
My uncle had to fight the eminent domain when they wanted to put a freeway through his farm property.
I believe it.
But remember how eminent domain works. You had to pay
Oh, I know.
compensation for it.
It was good that one of my uncles used to work in a business office, so he knew exactly what his
So,
property
so
was worth.
if, let's say you got a piece of property that without the CR on it is worth $1 million. With the CR, it reduces down 100,000. You're gonna do eminent domain property, wipe out the CR.
I want $1 million.
You can do it for the $1 million, not the 100,000.
Yeah. That was my uncle. You're cutting my property in half, and now I can't farm it because you put a highway through it. If I had the whole property and I could sell it down the road, this is what it's worth. And the state goes, yeah, okay, here's the check. That's what they did. Where the other farmers just took the offer that the state was giving them. And my
yeah,
uncle was
but-
like,
and you look at how the federal relocation and Uniform Act is, you can't leave an uneconomic remnant.
That's what this would have been.
Right. And so if you've diminished property such that there's an uneconomic remnant, you're paying full value for that uneconomic remnant.
That was yeah.
I'm hoping to get through this master plan, cause I was told that there is a map in here of all the CR in Rutland, the properties that have CR on them. And I haven't come to it yet, and I'm,
Have you guys, and I know it'll come to us eventually, but I'd heard again, this is all hearsay, that there's more 61A property coming up for potential
it's a
sale.
possibility,
Okay, I'd heard that and I didn't know what it was,
yeah.
so, all right, just curious.
But they took it off the market. I don't know if that's the same one you're thinking of. It's
It may come back.
yeah, I think it's like 61 acres or something
Okay,
off of Glenwood. Yeah, but for now it's off the market.
okay. That's it,
Oh.
motion to dismiss,
Dismiss?
just having a school moment,
Oh, motion to
adjourn.
The time is,
7:56.
I'll second that.
any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.